DL&W stations A to Z. Bob?
Okay, thank you, Bob. First things first, why are you here today?
Are you pointing at me?
Yes.
Why am I here? I'm a member of your club.
Why are you here today?
Well, I like the DL&W.
Why are you here today?
You asked me to.
Okay. You're all here. I've been doing these for about 50 years, presented at a half dozen of them or a dozen, ran several of them. You're all here because one person did the work to allow you to come here, Bob Bastorkin. That's the man you should thank before you leave today. That's the man right there. Okay, this program. This is probably going to be the worst batch of faded slides, not in focus, that you've ever seen at a show. Now, hell of an introduction, right? I'll give you the story behind it. None of them are mine, that's one of the reasons. There was a gentleman called Fred Tempesta who would dupe, steal, and crop a photo to make a slide in his basement from anywhere he could. And the reason I know that is because one day, many years ago, I'm looking on eBay and I go, that's my slide. And I have 40,000 slides and I've never sold one of them, ever, to anyone. So I'm going, how could this guy get my photo? Called up Don Dorflinger, who preceded me after me as the block line editor of Tri-State Chapter. I said, did you give my slides to anybody else? No, didn't do that. Well, I was furious. I started to contact a lawyer. I get a call from Don. He says, you know that guy that stole your slides? He says, don't worry about it. He died last week. I said, okay, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So then I found out that how he got the photo was I had given a slide to the Erie-Lackawanna Historical Society and they used it in one of their calendars. So like I said, he would steal from anywhere. So 10 years goes by, all of a sudden I look on eBay, slide by Fred Tempesta. Like, did he come up from the dead or what? Moral of the story is it was his son. And his wife was now moving out of the house and his son wanted to get rid of all the collection. I contacted him, talked with him, happened to be a nice guy. We got along well, and over a 3-month period, I probably looked at over 100 carousels of duped material. He let me buy what I wanted at a very cheap price. I bought, I don't know, 600-700 slides. And just the stations I put in alphabetical order, and that's what you're going to see today. Now, that came out to like 400 slides, which is much too much today. So what I did is I cut it. Bridge 60 is the division point for this particular day. So anything you're going to see is going to be west of Bridge 60. I know you Western people are always starved for material, so I cut it there. If you don't see the station that you're looking for, it's just because he didn't find a place to steal it from. That's all I can say. Starting with A, Appalachian. Oh, by the way, I questioned some of these. Now I'm just writing down on a cheat sheet here what he put on the slide. So if I'm wrong, please yell out and I'll change it. Okay? I'm not 100% sure that everything here that I'm going to tell you is 100% correct. You may know better than I here on the western end of the railroad.
It's Appalachian.
Appalachian. Okay. Apulia. I call this one of the cookie cutter type stations because the Lackawanna had so many of them that were usually built just before the turn of the century. The ticket office usually had two windows in the front. The passenger end was on one end and the freight house end on the other, but it could be interchanged. No matter where they put the station, they could interchange it. Here's the other end. You see the baggage end of the station. Apulia again. This happens to be Apulia. You're not going to see any other train shots in here. I don't know why I left this in here. I just didn't want to start to move all these slides one spot at a time. And there, of course, is an earlier shot of it with its nice two-tone coloring. Atlanta, one of the Bogota-style stations, which were very prevalent here in New York State. Other end of Atlanta. Bridgewater, which was the connection with the short line railroad there on the right. I was told once that the owner of this station had the original station sign, but I've never been able to confirm or deny that. And there's a poor dupe. Baldwinsville. Now, is this just the freight house or is it the station? Nobody knows. Okay.
Should be the station.
Should be the station? Okay. Still Baldwinsville. Big Flats. And of course, Binghamton. By the way, is the restaurant open and operating?
Yes.
Very good. Is the restaurant good?
Yes.
Very good. Berwick on the Bloom. Looking south. Blodgett's Mills.
This branch.
Camp Bell. Candor on the Ithaca branch. Cedarville, another cookie cutter type station. Cedarville from afar. Chadwick's. Another Chadwick's. Cookie cutter type station. Shenango Bridge. Shenango Forks. That would be looking south on the, what, Utica line? North? North. Okay. Shenango Forks again. believe this is Chadwick's. As is this.
That's Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, okay. I'm one behind myself here, okay. Cincinnati. Another Cincinnati. You can see his cheap slides fall apart. The old type where you ironed one side to glue it and hope that it stayed put. Well, it didn't. I guess this is the building that the first gentleman, Ted, said is still standing? Okay. Okay.
Still standing, but moved from its original location.
Okay. Clark Summit. And of course, this has all been refurbished and it's in nice shape today. Clayville. Cohopton. Coopers. Oh, I was ahead of myself, I'm sorry, that's Cooper's. The last one was Cohopton. Another pagoda style. And of course, Cortland, with the canopy all the way around. And the same view with the canopy gone. Looking northward. Is that sign saved?
Not the one.
Nobody has it? It's not in your living room somewhere? And the Freight House, Cortland. And of course the unique Lackawanna Crossing shanty at Cortland. Danville. And Dansville. Elmira Heights, another cookie cutter type station. About the only variable on some of these is with the little triangular above the station agent. Might go all the way to the top, might not go all the way. This one doesn't go to the top. Fulton, but I question whether or not this is correct. He had this marked as Glenburn. I don't think is correct either. And of course, Glenburn on the old line. This is supposedly the station that got moved down the hill and now sits alongside the highway, and a building was built around it, so you would never tell that this is part of the original station.
Yeah, hey Bob, it's a law firm now, you
Yeah.
a lawyer.
Yes, okay. Riggsville. Another cookie cutter type station where the view, the little diamond goes to the top of to the roof line. Riggsville. What's interesting there is where the semaphore train order boards used to be are not in the center of the little dormer, but off to the side. Groveland, pagoda style. Halstead, about the only thing that's left there are some of the evergreen trees that you see over on the right.
It's still there, Bob.
That station's still there.
This station is still
Yeah,
there?
it's been renovated. It was a restaurant, a law firm, I don't know what it is now.
It's a private school.
Okay, I'm getting that mixed up with a
There's
different
also a
station.
fence along between the tracks. and the
Okay,
building.
stand corrected. Homer? The flared base, I call it, that you see on these stations, this week when I went through this program once, I started to realize that about 1900 and up to about 1906, a lot of the larger stations that were built had the flared base. Now, some of them are brick and some of them are stone, but about at the base of the window downward is a flared base. Dover, Portland, Washington were some of the ones that had that. I had a nice type sheet and I left it at home, so what are you gonna do? Homer Freight House. Horseheads.
Still exists. Oh, it doesn't?
Old-time photo of Ithaca. And the station.
Still there. Used to be a bus terminal.
Jamesville. Now, I would be correct by saying this is the freight house, correct? Okay. The other side of the freight house. And again, the freight house. And that would be the station. And a later view of the station. Johnson City. Standard cookie cutter type station. In this particular instance, the ticket of the passenger end is on the left, the baggage end is on the right. Kilowog. Kingston. Does anybody know what that sign or up top in the diamond, did it say something at one point in time? Okay. And of course the roundhouse at Kingston, which is no longer. Kingsley. Lancaster. Leicester. Leicester again. Linwood. A stubby version of a cookie cutter station. Bisley, if I'm saying that correctly. Little York. Lowman. Marathon. It's not the very first station that was all cement. I think it's the second. I believe the first would have been New Village on the line to Phillipsburg, which at New Village there was a cement plant, which stands to reason why they built that station out of cement. But Marathon was probably the next and the biggest. McGraw. We saw pictures of this today, very well restored. Minota. Mount Morris. Another station with the flared base.
It's the best town by a dam site.
Pardon?
It's the best town by a dam site.
Okay, gotcha.
It's another one.
New Milford. There's an elongated cookie cutter where the baggage end is much bigger. But always two windows in the ticket office bay. And of course the cutoff, Nicholson PA cutoff, had all unique stations. The Lackawanna cutoff had 3 unique stations that were all cement, and the PA cutoff had 3, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 or 5 stations, but they were all unique to the cutoff. Now, I'm not sure where this is. Okay. Nicholson just before. Josh, are you here?
No.
The reason, is the highway the reason the roof line up top got cut back?
Yes, early 1940s, and they also, the railroad had to take out
Okay. I know that they took the bay off very early and then they cut back the roof line at the same time or later on?
We were told the same time. It's our understanding at the same time.
Okay. North Brookfield. North Alexander. Norwich. Norwich Freight House. Preble. I believe that's Preble also. Painted Post. I believe this is in much nicer shape today also. Richfield Springs. Richfield Springs Junction. Savona. Sherborne. Three windows in the dormer, that's a little different. Chickasha. With a very small dormer. And of course Syracuse, which before today I was about to say was the original station, but I learned today, the gentleman who gave his program, that it's the second station. And that would be the new or third station. Taylor, which is now gone. Tully, in tougher times. Tully in older times. Waterville. Waterville Freight House. Waverly. West Winfield. We believe that this was the station at Wind Gap, the end of the sharp branch on the B&P that went into Wind Gap. And last but not least, Wyoming. That's it, gentlemen. Sorry if you didn't see your program. 2 minutes station.
Okay, thank you. The catering place will be here shortly, so take a break. There's some new vendors that came in here, they were late, and please visit their tables and obviously chit chat and buy some more stuff. Thank you.